book friends, this is Kat. Welcome back to my channel. So, usually I want to film in front of my bookcase, but right now my husband's in the living room. He's working over there, so I do need to get up this video. So we're just going to film in here. I'm also filming this a little differently. And so first off, I want to go ahead and talk to you about my June TBR and how I did with that. So in June, I was supposed to read a total of 4 books, and I did not complete my TBR. In fact, I only read 2 of those books that were planned on my TBR. So for role number 1, I had gotten Father's Day, which is to play the word of the day, and I got the word drone, and so for that I picked Dear America, The Fences Between Us, and that book I did read. The other book I was supposed to read was one of my books for my 20 and 25 list, and that is Every Hour Until Then, and I did read that one. The next one I had to read was a library pick, and it was also a genre pick. And for that, I was supposed to read Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, and I did not get to this book. I had plans for this book, but my plans were thwarted a little, so I didn't get to it. And then the last prompt I had was Summer Days, and I had to pick 2 prompts for this one, and that one was a prompt for a place I visited and my favorite color on the cover, and for that I chose the charm bracelet. And I didn't even pick this book up from the library, so I didn't get to it, needless to say. As you can see, I did not get to my whole TBR list. However, I did do some vlogging, and I did read quite a few books this month. So I did attempt to play my TBR game earlier this week, and after I filmed my roles, I decided I didn't like any of the roles that I got, and I became a little overwhelmed because for the month of July I still plan on vlogging. And when I was creating the schedule, I realized that I wasn't able to put the books that I had selected into any of those vlogs that I did have, and I kind of got stressed out, and I wasn't feeling those books anyway. So I decided for the month of July that I am going to mood read. Now, I wasn't ready to go full blown on mood reading because I do like challenges. So I kind of created a little challenge, so to speak, for myself, but it would still be enough for me to mood read. So I'll explain a little bit more of that as the video goes on. But I'm just letting you know I'm not going to be playing my original game. For the month of July though, I do want to tell you some of the vlogs and a readathon that I am wanting to do this coming up month, and then I will go into my quote-unquote set TBR that I'm going to also do and explain how that's going to work. So the readathon that I really want to do is called Mermaid Marathon, and this is hosted by Macy at The Bright Side Girl, and her videos are pretty fun to watch. I especially like that she is always enthusiastic, and she creates like this party for her readathons, and it looks like fun, and she vlogs it. And this one I want to try. I've done her Retoldathon and I've enjoyed that, so this one I want to vlog, and this is for 2 weeks, so it's going to start from July 7th through the 18th. And then I have Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge vlog that I do every quarter, and so this quarter I'm going to do her July, August, and September months, which would be the summer quarter. And so that's another vlog. And then I want to do my Read Around the World vlog that I do enjoy doing. And then I have my challenges, Alma's Read Through Your Book, Read Through the Decade Challenge, my challenge, which is Biblical Fiction Challenge, and I have a possible buddy read. So, yeah, so a lot's happening, and so that's why I'm not having a set TBR, and I want to mood read, but there are going to be 4 books that I will be required to read in order for me to pass my TBR list for August. So I do plan on bringing my game back in August, and if I don't read these 4 books, then I would fail for August, and then I would have to do the punishment. So I read all these books, then I don't have to do the punishment for August. So hope that makes sense. All right, now what are the 4 books, you may ask? Well, I had decided to write down the 4 main goals that I want to accomplish this month, or challenges that I want to get to this month. And the 4 main challenges are the Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, Mermaid Marathon, Readathon, Alma's Challenge, and my challenge. There's going to be 1 book for each challenge that I must read. I hope that makes sense. So it is never easy though, because of the extra challenge. So I have some cards here. I'll put these back in the deck, but let's say if I'm picking for Alma's challenge, I will look at what that month's year is, and I would pick one of these cards, and this says, dig diggity, find a book with your initials on the cover or an author with the same initials as you. So this is the extra challenge I would have to read in addition to her prompt for that month, and so on and so forth. Now for Mermaid Marathon, there's a list of prompts, and so I just have to combine this prompt with any of those prompts in that list. So let's go ahead and just see this in gameplay. So let me go ahead and put all of these back in here, and I just spread all these out. So okay, and I'll shuffle too. But the first challenge I would like to do is Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. I'm still mixing them, by the way, sorry. It's easier to mix them down here. So the 3 months I did say were July, August, September. So for July's prompt is to read a book with royalty in it, or royalty in the title, or some sort of anything dealing with royalty. August's prompt is to read a book dealing with space, and September's is travel. So whatever prompt I pick here, I get to use for any of those prompts. So let's do this one. And this one says The Muses. Read a book about music or the arts. Okay, so I can pair this one with either royalty, space, or travel. That one might be easy with travel, but great. Okay, so this is the first prompt. The next one is Mermaid Marathon, and this has a list of prompts. So there is a mermaid side and a pirate side, so I'm not sure which side I'm going to do or join yet, but let's see what prompt I have to work with though. Okay, here's this one. This one says Bippity Boppity Boo. Read a book with an alliteration in the title. Okay. That might be tricky, but we'll see. All right. The next one is Alma's Challenge. So for Alma's Challenge, last month I was supposed to read The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis, and this was published in the 1960s. And how I'm doing the challenge is I am picking books that are published within that decade. So I'm still working through The Four Loves. Honestly, guys, it has been a tough time for me reading this, and I feel like some of it's going over my head, but I'm already halfway through. So yeah, but you know, I'm glad that I'm challenging my mind. So July's prompt is 1970s, so I just have to pick a book that was published during that time. So hopefully this is a good prompt because I already have a book in mind that I want to use. So let's see. Poor unfortunate soul. That does not sound good. Pick the largest number of pages on my TBR. Okay. Well, wait. Okay. So all I have to do is find the largest number of pages on my TBR that fits in the 1970s prompt. This might actually work in my favor. Okay. Whew. All right, the last challenge is my challenge, which is my biblical retelling challenge. And in June, I read the Gospel of Mark. I also read Martha. So in July, it's church history and prophecy. So for July's books of the Bible that I had for you were Acts and Revelation. I think I'm leaning more towards Acts because I'm not really in the mood to read the book of Revelations. Plus, there is a book that I do want to try out, and that is this character or this time period is during Acts. So hopefully whatever card I get will match the book. So we'll see. But let's go ahead and go with this one. And this one says Flopsome and Jetsome. Read a book under 300 pages. I know that sounds good, but I'm a little worried that this one is not under 300 pages. But at least it'll be a short read. We shall see. All right. Those are the challenges. So for Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf challenge, the book I'm going to choose for this one is The Lady with the Dark Hair by Erin Bartels. And this is a dual timeline. One timeline, you're following Esther Markstorm and her artist mother. And they have this gallery and this museum. And basically, they have a great portrait that is entitled The Lady with the Dark Hair, but there is more to this portrait than what they initially thought. Then you have the next timeline, which is in 1879, and this is talking about a fugitive named Viviana Torrens, and she basically meets this famous artist, and they travel together. And that's kind of like the short summary that I have for you on this book. So this book is dealing with traveling, which is one of the prompts in Chantel Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. That one's going to count for it. For Mermaid Marathon, Bippity Boppity Boo. This is to read an alliteration in the title. I'm still trying to figure out which side I want to do, or if I just want to have a list of books and see if they fit with either of these prompts. But right now I don't have one for an alliteration in the title. However, if you guys have a mermaid, island, or beach read recommendation, I would love to know. Now, Poor Unfortunate Soul, and this is to pick the largest number of pages on my TBR, and it has to be published in the 1970s. So I'm going to go ahead and see what I have on my Goodreads TBR list. Okay, so that actually really worked out in my favor because I only had one book. that was published in 1977. And that one is I Dared to Call Him Father, the miraculous story of a Muslim woman's encounter with God. And this was published in 1977. And that was the book that I knew that I had that was published during that time. So yay, that worked out. And the last prompt I have is Flopsome and Jetsome, read a book under 300 pages. So let's see also what I can find for you guys. Okay, so I could not find one that was under 300 pages that I can easily access, but I did find one that was technically 310 pages, which I feel like that can be a give or take, honestly, depending on what like version you have of the book. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and count it as close as I can. And it's an audiobook, so I'm sorry if that's cheating a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and go for it though. And this book is called Sold into Freedom. This is by Carol Towris. This one says, taught to hear messages from the goddess from a very young age, Elantia's life is shattered when she is captured from her home in southwest Britannia and sold as a slave in Macedonia. She wants nothing more than to escape and return home after she kills the man who took the only good thing left in her life. Tossed aside by the empire, wounded tribune Quintus Valerius ends up in sleepy Philippi to retire. Manipulated into becoming the prison keeper, he vows to return to Rome as soon as possible to reclaim his reputation and his life. He is intrigued by the quiet Jewish teacher who speaks of truth and peace, but is convinced he can never have either. When Elantia's shocking actions shake up the town and her life is threatened, Quintus risks what little he has left to save her, only to put Paulos and his friends in even greater danger. And this one, I'm assuming it's Paul and Philippi that's being referenced. So I'm going to count it for this. And yeah. Okay. So this was a slightly different video, but I really do hope that you still enjoyed it. And it's a bit different for me too, because usually I'm not a mood reader. I like to have stacks of books all ready to go and everything, but that's what I'm going to be doing right now, and at least for this month. And I think that with everything that's going on in July, I am starting to garden, and that is taking up a little bit of time right now. I don't have like big like garden beds yet, but anyways, I'm doing that. I'm starting something new, like a new hobby. My sister, she should have her baby girl pretty soon actually. So that's gonna happen in July. And then my husband is actually switching to elementary, and so we're actually going to be on the same campus together, and he will start new teacher training towards the end of July, and he's also having his new ventures with real estate. So one quick note I do want to say is that my husband is going to take a break from joining me in my game, just because lately his reading hasn't been as great, but he's also doing a lot of other things, and he's just gonna opt out from doing any reading as of now, just because of how busy he is. But maybe in future videos he might come back, but we would have to alter a little bit of the game. But he's been very sweet doing this with me though, and I don't want to push him or pressure him. I want reading to be enjoyable for him. So maybe we will tweak it differently. But I've also contemplated about having like a viewer prompt. I don't think like it would be a required, so to speak, but it could just be a prompt where you could just suggest books based off of a prompt that I picked. Or you could use this as a extra challenge if you would like to complete during the month. I think it gives it a little something extra on the channel, but again, in no ways do you have to complete the prompt. So, but I am thinking about it, but I'm curious what you guys would be interested in. he will still be making appearances here and there, maybe in some vlogs, but I don't know. We'll see. It might just be just not the season right now, and that's okay. So I will hopefully get back on schedule in August, but I hope that you enjoyed this short video, and let me know in the comments what you think about my little challenge things, and hopefully I'll also have some more videos for you other than vlogs. So anyways, okay, so I realized that I forgot to pick out the country for the month of July. So I have my jar here, and I'm going to pick out the country or countries that I will be visiting in book form for the month of July. How I'm going to schedule this vlog, though, it might be towards the end of July into August, so it might come up in August, but just letting you know, I'm gonna go ahead and pick out the country. So all right, let's do this one. So the first country is upside down. What is this? Austria. Ooh, okay, Austria. So this doesn't fall under that special rule that I have. Oh wow, that's an exciting one. So okay, I'm gonna put that off to the side. So I'm gonna pick another one. So we're gonna go to Austria, and here is this one. And the Netherlands. So we are staying in Europe. So that's fun. Which is funny because I just did Switzerland and the Czech Republic. So we're kind of staying in Europe right now. So, okay, I will have to find books set in those countries. If you know of any, please let me know, especially if there's some that you would like to recommend. But yeah, okay. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye, guys.